In this video, I'm going to be answering another question from the Unity Animation Forum. In this case, the question was asked by user BeanCurd1982. And the question is, how can we add an animation clip as a sub-asset to an Animator controller? Now this is a great question, and the example given comes from the Unity UI system. So I'll go ahead and show exactly what type of behavior we're trying to replicate here. If we add a UI button to our scene. In our buttons inspector, we can change its transition type to animation. And with that, we're given the names of the triggers that we want set up inside of that animator controller and an auto generate animation button. So if we click auto generate animation, it's going to create for us a new animator controller. The default name is button controller. We'll save that into our project, and now we have this animator controller that could be expanded out to show 4 animation clips, one for each state that the animator is going to go through. So that's all well and good, but if you create your own animator controller, as was pointed out in the discussion thread, you can't add animation clips to it out of the box with Unity. So how can we do that? Well, in order to solve this, I put together a custom inspector for animation controllers. So I'll go ahead and just clean up my scene real quick. And if I create a new animator controller, I'm just going to call this demo controller. You'll see right now we have our default editor. And I'm going to go ahead and enable my custom editor by just uncommenting that line there, saving this script. And now, when we go back into Unity, once that script compiles, I'll reselect my animation controller, and now I have a menu item available for my animator controller that says create an animation clip as a sub-asset. So for this, I'm going to, let's say, I'm going to be using this animator controller to control this directional light. So first I'll go ahead and drop that onto the directional light, and I'll start thinking about things that I want to add to this. So I want to say fade light out. That's going to be one of my animations. And I'll go ahead and hit the plus button, and that's going to add an animation clip. So now if I expand, I've got this fade light out animation clip as a sub-asset to my animator controller. And if I want to add another one, if I do put fade light out one more time, you'll see I can't actually add that clip. The button is disabled because that name's already being used, and I wanted to make sure that that type of thing was avoided. So we'll say turn light off. We'll add that as an animation, and turn light on, or how about change light color. So we've got these 3 animations, and one of the things that I don't have put into this yet is if you do go into the animator that's on this directional light, which is this exact animator. So look at here, we've got demo controller. There's actually no animation clips listed in here, so in order to edit these, you do have to put each of them into your animator controller. And then looking in the animation window, we now have those 3 available for editing. So if we want to change our light color, then we can go ahead and add a property to our light, change the light color to whatever color we feel like using the RGB values. In this case, I can just open this up here and change our light to a red color. And if we want to go into one of our other ones like fade light out, in this case we're just going to take, let's go up to here, and we can change the intensity of this light. So now if we look at our scene view, you can see our intensity is going down on the light. So you can go ahead and manipulate all those animations while they are part of that Animator controller the same way that you normally would. But one of the problems that you have is you can't, if you're not using one of these animations, you can't right-click and delete the asset, because there's this whole safety system inside of Unity that says we're not going to destroy an asset unless you are absolutely sure that you're going to destroy it, and this is especially the case with subassets. So you're not going to be able to delete these unless you explicitly say in code, I want to delete these, and that comes into part of this custom inspector for the Animator controller. We have a button for every animation clip that is a subasset. There's going to be a button for removing that. So if we go ahead and click on turn light off, you'll see turn light off is the third animation clip down here. If I hit that, then that third animation clip is going to go away. If I want to delete change light color, then I'll remove change light color, and the only thing I have left on this controller is fade light out. If you go into your controller at this point, what you will notice is that change light color no longer has a motion available to it. Turn light off no longer has a motion available to it. Only fade light out actually has a matching motion. So you have to be really sure that you are deleting something you want to get rid of, because you absolutely cannot undo that. Or at least no easy way that I found out where you can destroy an asset and bring that back. So that's a quick overview of what this does. It is quick. It's not completely developed. There's a lot of error checking and whatnot that I'd like to put into a tool like this, but I hope it turns out to be useful. So any feedback that you have, please take it to either the discussion thread. I'll link that in the description of this video, or you can go ahead and leave a comment below. Thanks so much for your time.